Our shower head has been leaking for far too long. It's been trying to ignore it. Tried to replace a ring here and in here, but it's still just dripping pretty regularly. So with this not being the fix up here, I even tried putting a different shower head on it and that didn't work either. So it has to be water leaking from the handles, being that the shut-off mechanism isn't shutting off like it should. So I think this is what I need. They are Delta genuine parts, which I think this is the Delta. I'm not sure what this is called actually, but it's this little spring and ring that should do the trick, hopefully. And it told me watching videos, it says I need an Allen wrench or key. So I bought a new one of these because I have one at the gym, but it's not here and we need one for the house. And we always need needle nose pliers and I can never find them. So I got some new ones. Hopefully I don't lose them. And my handy dandy screwdriver that is with me on everything, every project I do, and it has interchangeable heads or tips, so it just pulls out. So this is super convenient and it will ratchet. So instead of your wrist getting tired so much, you just can switch it to ratchet or not ratchet. So it's super convenient. I did turn off the main water supply, so hopefully I don't drench myself. And I'm gonna turn this on, let all the water run out, and get started. Yesterday I replaced the caulk around the floor of the shower because it was pretty gross. So I couldn't let that get wet for like 6 hours. So I have a bucket catching the water that's been dripping, or it's not even a bucket, it's a mixing bowl. It's almost full, so that's how much water has been dripping overnight. Okay, so I didn't video me taking the screws out of the handles, which would allow me to pull this off. So they were really long screws. Like I did not guess that it's as long as my palm basically. Didn't guess that they would be that long. So I haven't taken it out of the hot water side, but took out the cold water side. It just loosened the screw and I was able to pull it out. Then I'm able to take the handle off. And now I'm working on loosening this nut. So, okay. Oops, did it loosen? Did I just turn the whole thing? I hope I loosened it, but just turning the whole apparatus. That's not what I need to have happen. What do you know? Sometimes it's not straightforward. Most of the time, it's not straightforward. Gotta go get another tool, I think. Okay, so I was trying to use a channel lock and a wrench to take this nut off. That you can't see it very well, but while I was trying to do that, this whole piece was spinning and I wasn't getting anywhere. So I was like, why don't I just try to turn it? Too funny. All I had to do was turn this. It's threaded, so that was really funny. That's all I had to do, and I was struggling trying to use these two tools. So, meh, it's like that sometimes. Took these parts out of this hole, and the part that the Home Depot representative had me buy, I believe, is way back in there. And it's not that far. Like I can reach it with my new needle nose pliers just fine. So I'm hoping I just gotta take that ring out and then there's a spring, put those back in, put everything back together, and voila. It's not gonna go like that because it doesn't. But hopefully it'll go something similar to that. I need the flashlight on my phone. I can't record this. I've put the spring and the ring in place. I feel like it needs to be pushed in more, but I'm hoping that once I put all the other parts back in, it just kind of smushes it like a sandwich. So hopefully we're close to one side being close to fixed. All right, I put the right side back together. I haven't tested it because I have to go in the basement to turn the main water supply back on. So I figure I'll go ahead and do the left side and then turn it all on at the same time. So once again, taking this apart, just this screw in the middle comes up pretty easily. So very long screw. Put that aside. Then this just pulls off really easy. And then this is the part where I thought I had to loosen the nut to take all of this off, but now it's not going to be easy because I said you just have to loosen this part. Punch it all in screw. So hopefully, yeah, I just needed the tool. What are we without our tools? Okay, so then this comes off. And on the first side, this was a little scary because when I pulled this part off, there was like bubbling and a little bit of water that came out, and I thought I was about to get the full-on splashdown. But then, okay, so then I just pulled this out. So this is the apparatus, I guess, that turns to allow water in and out. On the last one, I took this apart thinking what I needed was in here, but it's not. So I'm not going to take this apart because then I was a little worried on how to put it back together, but I think I did it. It's pretty self-explanatory, although I did leave a little gap on the other one, so I might have to revisit that first side, but this one, not going to mess with it. And then, so once again, in that little hole back there is where the ring, so the black ring and then the spring just the spring goes in the hole first and then the ring goes on top of that. And they kind of sandwich together. So I'm gonna take the old ones out. Hopefully I can do it without needing the flashlight because it's on my phone. Definitely could not do this if I didn't have these needle nose pliers. Okay, so those two came out together. And there's actually a more narrow end and a wider end. Oh, that may not be visible, but the narrow end goes in, which I wasn't sure about that because when I took it out the first time I didn't pay attention. But it doesn't really fit together as well the other way, so by default. And by default, I got it right. Okay, so then putting this in, it was a little tricky because the hole is small and I could use my pliers, but then I couldn't get them off. So I could get it in with the pliers. So I realized to put the spring in first, then the ring, it was a little easier. And I think I actually put the spring on the screw that came out and just got it back there and then used my needle nose pliers to kind of put it into where it's supposed to go. So hopefully that works again. Once again, I'm doing narrow side is going to face out toward the shower, and then the bigger end is going to face toward the wall because that's how it's supposed to go, I think. Or that's how it was on the other one. And I'm just going to push it into the hole. I did not go in that time. It's like playing the game of Operation. Pretty much in reverse.
was keeping you company.
Oh, I didn't even know she was in there.
Yeah, she's laying right here. Faucet coming on.
I think I got the first side done. So
You need some light.
yeah, I'm gonna try to put the other side in. Okay, spring is in. That was my mom. She's the best. All right, and then same thing here. I don't remember if I used the screw the last time for this side. And I must have because I can't push that in. Okay, I got it in. Took a little finagling, but it's in there. So I'm gonna try to put everything back together. So this goes in there first, and I just remembered that this flat part was facing that wall, so just gonna put it back that way. There, and then this goes on, so I'm just gonna screw into place. Maybe just screw into place like I said you would. Right tight. Yeah. Aren't you catching? Something's not heavy. Oh, okay. Because that popped out. Everybody stay in line, please. Follow the instructions that have been given to you. There we go. Okay. Screw that on. The handle, which ideally can only go on one particular way because there's a little notch that lines it up, and then the really long screw. It's gonna hold all of that together and hopefully not allow any leaks. I'm just considering a dilemma now because that long white piece that I said I took apart on the right side, didn't take it apart on the left side. I noticed when I put it back in on the right side, there was a little bit of a gap. So I am probably gonna take this one apart and see if I can smush that gap together, because with water, you wanna make sure everything's sealed tightly. So I hope I don't regret doing this. There's a good chance that I will, but there's only one way to know. So we're gonna take this side off again.